Hey everyone, hope you're doing well today. Got a game that I'm pretty excited to talk about with you here, and that is Touhou Luna Nights. And this is a game that I found on Xbox Game Pass, which I've been enjoying thoroughly, much more than I thought I would, actually. And one of the reasons is because of games like this. I never heard of this game before until I saw it on Game Pass and gave it a shot. And for someone that likes old school platforming, side scrollers, things like that, this was a really great modern iteration of that sort of thing. And one thing before we get into the game itself, look up Touhou and the Touhou project. It's a really interesting game development story, and it's kind of hard to describe unless you just look it up and read it for yourself. It kind of started as one guy that made some shoot 'em up games, and now it's evolved into this thing where there's all kinds of other different genres being represented, different developers getting in the mix, all kind of under this Touhou banner. So really interesting stuff as far as who made this game and who's behind it. As far as the game itself, to me, it's really a throwback to those old school games that I enjoyed so much. And there's a little bit of a Metroidvania flavor as well. But it's an action side scroller, more or less. And there is verticality, and everything isn't left to right the entire game. As you can see, there is a map like all your standard Metroidvanias. So you do get a little bit of that, but I don't want to focus on it too much just because it's not a super complicated game from a Metroidvania standpoint. There are some doors that you can't open until you find keys. There are some places that you can't get upwards to until you are able to double jump. But this is a pretty light Metroidvania. It's more focused on the action, in my opinion. And that's where the game shines the most. There's a ton of fun action in this game, a lot of fun enemies. Everything is really well animated, as you can probably tell. Graphics are nice. And really, the game is at its best when you're throwing knives like crazy and stopping time or slowing down time, which is the big mechanic as far as what makes this game unique from others like it. You can do different things to get past obstacles that you wouldn't be able to otherwise if you couldn't mess with time. And it actually seems, at first I thought it was a little bit hackneyed and maybe like, this is probably similar to other games I played before, but it actually felt really fresh. And there are a lot of obstacles and other things that still move when time is stopped, or maybe they go in reverse. So you have to think a little bit about how to get from one place to the next eventually when the game kind of gives you all the tools that you have at your disposal. But it all works really well together. You'll have a lot of fun jumping around, killing enemies, traversing puzzle-like areas in parts, and I'm just really happy that a game like this exists, and I wish there were more of them. Again, there is a Metroidvania element to it, but it's not too heavy, which is actually something that I really like about the game. I like Metroidvanias, I just don't like this trend where every single 2D action game feels like it has to be a Metroidvania these days. So for me, it works really well because I prefer the old school straightforward side scroller if I had my choice. It's nice that they throw a little bit of extra flavor in there with the Metroidvania stuff, but it's not too crazy. What else? The controls are great. Everything is responsive as it should be. The art style and the animation, like I said, are just really nice. Character designs are pretty good. Enemy designs are very good, I think. The graphics in general are pretty representative of this genre at this stage in the game. The length seems to be a little on the short end. I'm not quite finished with the game yet, but I believe I'm about 80 to 90% done. So you can get through this fairly quick if you're really good at games, but it does present a bit of a challenge. I saw some reviews on Google, of all places, people complaining that the game was too hard, and let me tell you, I'm not going to be participating in any game competitions anytime soon, and I'm making good progress in the game. It's not a game where you're going to be able to lay on the couch and just breeze through it. It is one where you kind of got to knuckle down in some places because some of the bosses are really hard, and some of the areas do get pretty crowded with enemies. But it can be beaten, for sure. I haven't quite done so myself, but I'm getting there. And every time I think I'm stuck, I end up overcoming and moving on. So it's not that hard of a game, trust me. So this was on Xbox Game Pass, but to purchase it on the Switch or the PC or elsewhere is $17.99. $18 I think is a pretty good price for this. I think it's a hit. I'm sorry I didn't know about this game beforehand. If you like this sort of thing, or you like what you're seeing or what you're hearing, $18 is worth it, for sure. I think $10 would have been a steal, $15 would have been perfect, but I still think it's worth the $18, for sure. If you like this sort of thing and you've played this sort of thing before and you're up for a little bit of a challenge, but nothing too insane. So what do you guys think? Do you like what you see? Have you even heard of this game? Like I said, I hadn't until recently. So really, really glad I dove in. And let me know if there's any other games like this that you think I might enjoy. Let me know if there's any other games you want me to cover. I'd be happy to just dive in blind on something and just give it a shot. But looking forward to your comments. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time.